We experienced the highs and lows of Mason McTavish after last night's overtime loss to the Nashville Predators. I'll talk about it on this edition of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jason JD Hernandez. I've been covering hockey for over a decade. Thank you for making this your first listen of the day. Just a reminder, this podcast is free and available across all platforms. You can follow me on Twitter at StimpyJD. And, we try to do a daily show. Obviously, last week was a lot busy. We're back to our normal schedule this week. Got a pretty decent slate of games as the Ducks continue their march towards, maybe Connor Bedard, maybe not the way they've been playing recently. So to kind of switch things up, I'm going to recap the game first, then talk a little bit about McTavish in a little bit. There's a reason for that. But I want to get to what happened in last night's game first. Well, actually, I watched it this morning because, as I've mentioned on Twitter, I was kind of busy last night. I had the honor of doing public address for the Secret Cup championship game. That was really cool. So maybe I'll spend a few seconds on that at the end. But watching this game, knowing what was going to happen, I knew there had to be some kind of breakdown, and there was a big breakdown, but I'm not going to put all the fault on McTavish on this game, not by a long shot. I mean, the blame has to go around somewhere. I mean, Nashville is a decent team. They're okay. They won't make the playoffs this year, but they're an adequate team. Perfectly cromulent, I guess. Are they chasing a playoff spot? Yes. Will they realistically make it? Maybe. I mean, the only team that I could see them passing is maybe Edmonton, but I don't see it. I think the 8 teams that are in it are set. I don't see Nashville coming. I don't see Calgary coming. Calgary's really struggled recently. But as far as Nashville, they're playing with a lot of desperation right now. They still think they can make the playoffs. They probably could. I don't see it, especially with the teams up ahead of them. So first period, this was kind of a weird start to the game. Because right away, the Ducks go on the penalty kill, which they're so good at. I've said this many times. The Ducks should not take those kind of penalties. Benoit with kind of a weird penalty. Yeah. Or that was a good take. But the penalty the Ducks took, that was bad. That was, I'm not going to use words here, but that wasn't a good penalty. That wasn't. Too many men right in the neutral zone. It shouldn't have happened. That's just bad communication right there. I don't know who to put that one on, but the communication breakdown was pretty vital already in the early stages of the game. So right now, power play Nashville, and there's a bunch of guys in front of John Gibson, and you had Philip Tomasino just try to rifle one towards Gibby. This one deflected off of Colton White's stick, not Colton Sissons, a certain TV commentator said. No, this one went off of Colton White's. Went off his stick, kind of did a little bit of a fluttering action, went past Gibby, 1-0. Yeah, the PK this year, I've said it several times, it's bull funky. The PK is bull funky right now. The Ducks this season are towards the bottom in PK once again. How low are they? I'm glad you asked. They are 30th out of 32, third from last. As it stands right now, the Ducks are one of the worst PKs in NHL history. Buffalo is right there at 72.7, Ducks 72.9. The Vancouver Canucks, they've improved lately. They're up to 68.8. Good for Vancouver, I guess. But the Ducks PK, it's no surprise to anyone. It's been awful. The special teams this year in general has not been good. And to see that one just kind of flutter past Gibby, not good for the Ducks, already down 1-0. Then Tommy Novak on a bad breakdown defensively, and again, this was Colton White right there in the thick of things, right there. Not a good own goal. Not an own goal, but, this one, the first one was kind of an own goal. The second one, just Novak getting it through Colton White's legs and just beat Gibby's shoulder side. That one wasn't good. So that made it 2-0 Nashville. To come back in that first period, I loved the effort from Max Jones on this one. Max Jones to have that effort to just kind of stick it towards Mason McTavish, and McTavish just kind of chipping it in towards the goal. This one was as much about Max Jones as it was Mason McTavish. So I'll start with Max Jones. First, the effort to get the puck out of the neutral zone into the Ducks' offensive zone I thought was key. Great to pick it up around the blue line, get it in the zone, and he gets hit. But he uses his offhand to kind of guide it towards McTavish as kind of a last-ditch effort. And he got it right past Kiefer Sherwood and towards Mason McTavish, who just kind of chipped it in just past UC Saros. That was a sweet, sweet goal. And I liked just the effort from both sides. So that made it 2-1 Nashville. Second period. One of the stupider goals came late. The second one for the Ducks was kind of stupid because everyone was looking around like, what? What just happened? No, this was a Frank Vetrano rifle that went in and out of the net so fast you blink and you miss it. It sounded like it went off the post, but it actually went off of that back post behind the net. And it just went whoop in and out. And give credit to the referee that was right on top of it, that blew his whistle right away, signaled a good goal. Then the off-ice official, the goal judge, said, oh, that went in. The ref says it's in. Okay, I'll turn on the light. So the light goes on. And then the horn eventually goes off, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. Ducks scored. They tied it up. Yeah! So it's 2-2 on the delayed reaction on that goal. And then all hell kind of broke loose. Had a little scuffle between Lozon and the before mentioned Max Jones, who just got obliterated on that fight. Yeah, Lozon definitely got everyone fired up on Nashville's bench. That's the one that got everyone all excited. Then the stupid goal. And this actually took place in the third period, not the second, my mistake. I've seen Kiefer Sherwood pull this crap before in the minors. He did this once with San Diego years ago. I forget which goalie he did it against. I forget which team he did this against. I want to say Tucson maybe. I forget. But Kiefer Sherwood went behind the goal line and banked it off of John Gibson's back, like his upper back. And Sherwood just kind of went, I'm just going to get it towards the net and see what happens. And he kind of has this sheepish grin, like he celebrates and kind of laughs, kind of sheepishly like, wow, that worked. Yeah, that worked. He's done this before. Kiefer Sherwood has always been a creative goal scorer, if nothing else. He's been doing this for years. And to just see this go off of the upper back of John Gibson, I was surprised that one went in, but at the same time, I'm not surprised because it's Kiefer Sherwood, because he's done this. For those of you that are longtime Ducks fans, you've seen Sherwood have some pretty fun goals, especially if you're a goals fan. But yeah, just beat Gibby on his back. That made it 3-2. Then later in that period, Silphy could have tied the game, but it went off the post, off of Saros' leg. I thought that was going to be tied no matter what. No, not so much. Then we go back towards the end of the third period, and just a complete defensive breakdown by every single Duck on the ice. Strome broke down. Harrington broke down. Fowler broke down. Vetrano completely broke down. And all of a sudden, you had a possible wraparound from Cole Smith, but it winds up in Yakov Trinan's stick, and he just puts it away. So now it's 4-2 Nashville with maybe about 6 minutes left. So I'm thinking, okay, this one's over. Ducks are going to lose this game, and here we go. The tank is really on. That's fine, I guess. Then the Ducks pull John Gibson. And then it gets a little magical. Oh, look at the time. Maybe I'll head to the first intermission and I'll talk about the comeback and what happened after the game. So I'll get to that on the other side. But first, I want to talk to you guys about Athletic Greens. And as a marathoner myself, I wanted something that gives me a better immune system and more energy and better gut health. And it tastes pretty good too. So what is AG1? Well, with 1 scoop per day, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. It's a special blend of ingredients that supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. Because I look so young, right? So, I personally attest to using AG1. I brought it with me to New York for the marathon. Really helped me out on that record-breaking heat out there. And it's recommended by pro athletes, by amateur athletes. And honestly, it's pretty good too. Lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. So, right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. Yeah, 1 scoop. That's it. Yay! Just head over to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. And to make it easy, ready for this? Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and five free travel packs with your first purchase. All you got to do once again is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm just thinking about that comeback and how good Mason McTavish is. I pump his tires all the time. I'm going to continue pumping his tires, especially on that nice little comeback that the Ducks had towards the end of the game. Really loved it. With an empty net, we saw the Ducks go to work. We saw Fowler go to work. Zegras go to work. We saw it all. What I liked was the Colton White cross ice pass through the Royal Road right to Troy Terry. That's his 19th of the season. Troy Vetchkin at it again. That made it 4-3 Anaheim. This was with about 2.5 minutes left. I thought they were done. But no, we're not done yet. We're going to keep going. So what do the Ducks do? They empty the net once again. And here we see the Ducks really going to work here, making good passes with the man advantage, like really smart passes. Z with the patience to wait for Fowler, get it towards the net, and there was Mason McTavish ready to pick up the loose change, and McTavish tied the game with exactly 26 seconds left. This was a great patience play by Z. Loved it. But I loved Mason McTavish using that big frame of his to clear some space, get the stick on the puck, and put it away. Loved it. And I love just like, yeah! Love that celly. So you know what? Even though I'm Team Tank right now, that was a freaking nice goal. And just McTavish putting all of it out there to tie things up at 4. If I want to credit one player that really helped the Ducks to get that extra point, it's freaking Big Mac. McTavish just got him into overtime. And then in overtime, McTavish got a little bit over aggressive. So let me break down this overtime goal. So the Ducks have possession. You have Strome passing it out to, I think it was Colton White. And Strome immediately went to the bench because he was tired. White passed it off to Troy Terry. and Troy Terry rifled it towards the net, went right off the pad of UC Saros. But because the Ducks had someone going towards the bench, Strome was going to the bench, it was only 2 men out at the time. So the Preds were able to pick the puck back up, and there you had Novak kind of glide it towards the neutral zone, towards the wall. And just coming into the game was Mason McTavish. McTavish got a little bit over-aggressive on Tommy Novak, did not see Tomasino in front of Novak. So I think McTavish got caught a little bit being too aggressive on who had the puck, not thinking about who was going to be just ahead of him, who could possibly get the pass. And that left the Ducks in no man's land. So bad pinch. Tomasino got the puck back, passed it back to Novak, give and go. McTavish just a dead duck right there. And Novak put it away right over the shoulder of Gibby. That's your game winner. Ducks lose to Nashville 5-4 in overtime. So let's go over just Mason McTavish's game as a whole on this one. McTavish's 2 goals in regulation were, I would say, vintage, if you can call it that, vintage Mason McTavish. McTavish goes towards the net, plays aggressive, makes smart plays, and honestly just has the presence of mind to get the puck just towards net. Just like towards net, in close. First goal, that one was just a great hustle play by Jones, but McTavish was right there just outside the lip of the faceoff circle and got up close, scored it that way. His second goal, got in close, got kind of like a loose puck out in front of UC Saros, right outside the crease, and put it in. That's the kind of aggressive play that you want from Mason McTavish, because he does have an NHL body. Like when he was in juniors, he was just pummeling guys left and right. Like he felt like a man among men. McTavish has a strong frame, and it's only going to get strong. It could fill out even more. That's the scary thing. McTavish could fill out even more and be even stronger. And if he can continue to just develop that front net presence, then McTavish could be an opponent's nightmares for years to come. So that was the highs of Mason McTavish. And then the lows of Mason McTavish, as was demonstrated in that overtime. And that's more of a learning thing, not an ability thing. That's I don't want to say a rookie mistake, because it kind of is a rookie mistake, but that play in overtime is something that I think McTavish could absolutely learn from in the long run. Yes, he did kind of get put in a weird position because it was a line change right as the Ducks were 2-on-1 going one way. Strome going out, McTavish going in. And as McTavish is going in, he immediately made the decision to go after the puck. But as you had 2 Nashville players on the right side, that's where you have to decide. Do you want to go after the puck, or do you want to try to hang back a little bit and see this play develop? That way you don't have a 2-on-none, you have a 2-on-1 going the other way and maybe lay out. Those are the kind of just little plays that I think the young guys like Aziz, like McTavish, and to a lesser extent, guys that could come up. Maybe not Perot anymore, but maybe some of the younger guys, maybe a Mintyukov down the line. Even as defensemen, you could have Zellweger learn from this. You could have Drysdale learn from this. Those are the kind of games that in this kind of season, you want to take that as a learning experience and just use it to your best knowledge going forward. Because something can be said about high IQ plays. I don't want to say that was a low IQ play. That was just a snap decision that McTavish made to go after the puck. But if you're going to go after the puck, make sure that your stick is down, but make sure that you're absolutely sure that you can get your stick on the puck. And I wouldn't even call that a 50-50 either. That's just a choice. And, just have to own that choice and learn from it. I hope McTavish learns from that and improves on those little key areas for next season. I mean, okay, no player is perfect. And these guys are still young, all right? I want everyone to just remember that. These guys are still young. I said this at the start of the season. I've said this at least 4 or 5 times this year, so I'm going to say it again. Have patience. Have patience with the young guys. They're going to get there. I have all the faith that these Ducks youngsters are going to get to a point where those mistakes become less and less, and they don't overshadow how great of a game they had. And I'm just going to say this again. McTavish is only 20 years old. He's 20. And he's already out there in overtime and on power plays and on 6-on-5s. To put that kind of responsibility on a 20-year-old is asking a lot. And I feel like McTavish is embracing that role more and more. Good for Big Mac. Good for him embracing it. And you know what? I cannot wait to see him down the line, like 2-3 years from now. Because McTavish, I think, can really be a premier player in this league. When you have Zegras, when you have McTavish, Drysdale, the list goes on. Rookies that will be coming up soon. They're going to be good. And also, I have to praise McTavish's workout, his work ethic, the fact that he doesn't miss a game. Well, I mean, he's missed, I think, 1 game this season, but he doesn't miss much. The durability on him is great too. So I just can't wait. I'm excited about that. All right. We're going to head to the second intermission right now. I'm way over time. So we're just going to come right back, and I'll just talk a little bit more about this game and what the Ducks have coming up. Stay locked in. But first, I want to talk to you guys about Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. And if you haven't tried Built Bar yet, what are you waiting for? You can get them at your local market right now, your local Walmart, your local Sam's Club. They have the cookies and cream Built Bar flavors there. They're right in the shelves. So you could probably pick it up like now, almost now. You got brownie batter in there as well. So you could pick up a 13 bar box with some of our hit flavors, including, you ready for this? I've heard that the Churro Puff will be coming to a store near you. Or if you want to try some of the other fantastic flavors, head over to built.com right now and use promo code. You ready for this? The promo code is Locked On 15. Locked On 15 is the promo code to get you 15% off your next order of Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. Welcome back to Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Once again, you're locked in with Jason JD Hernandez, and we're going to wrap up this one fairly quickly. So I just want to go over the next couple of games, the upcoming schedule for the Anaheim Ducks. They next play Wednesday at the Ponda against the New York Islanders. The Islanders are currently clinging to a playoff spot. They barely have the last wild card spot. And honestly, you never know. It could always be Florida. It could be Buffalo still. It could be Ottawa. Who would have thought Ottawa would still be in the playoff race? Could be the Caps. So the Isles starting to play a little bit desperately. They've done well recently, but it's getting to that time. They've got to win some games in order to stay in that playoff spot. So that's on Wednesday. On Friday, Columbus comes to town. Another battle for Bedard. I think if Columbus loses that game on Friday at the Ponda, I think that would fairly wrap up Columbus getting the best odds to land Connor Bedard. Just my thought on that. Then Sunday, Vancouver comes to town, and they're also kind of in tank mode right now. So are these winnable games? Yes. Should they be winning the games? No, and here's why. As of this recording, and I'm recording this Monday afternoon, this will be out Monday night, the Ducks, as of right now, officially have an elimination number of 7. Meaning any combination of 7 points lost by the Ducks or, wins and points gained by whoever is bottom in the wild card, that combines it. Then, if Colorado gets 7 more points, then Ducks eliminated. Yeah, I should also point out that as of this recording, and I'm recording this again Monday afternoon, the Colorado Avalanche are winning 4-0 against the Montreal Canadiens. The game happened to be on TV, so I started watching it, and I went, no, I'm done. Click. So Colorado's up 4-0. They're probably going to win like 7-1 or 8-1, who knows. But yeah, assuming Colorado holds this lead, the elimination number will go down to 5. That means the Ducks are 5 points away from being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Oh, that also means that San Jose's elimination number goes down to 1. San Jose is probably going to get eliminated mathematically tomorrow or Wednesday. And the Ducks will be next, or Chicago will be next. So it might be time. Might be time to officially pull the ripcord on this season and say, you know what? No. Done. I mean, this little streak the Ducks are on right now has been fun to watch, but they're gaining a lot of points. They got 1 against Washington, 2 against the Habs, 1 against Vancouver, 2 against Calgary, 1 against the Preds. In 6 games, they've gotten 7 points. Ooh. Maybe that's too many right now. Maybe it really is time to just fully go all in on the tank. I mean, there's 15 games left. What are the Ducks going to gain by winning all 15 of those games? Maybe a little bit of cheering, rah-rah, hey, look at us, we won 15 games in a row. Yeah. And they wind up with like the 12th pick and are right back to where they started. No, it's time. Just go out in a flourish. So, yeah. Just my 2 cents on that. All right. I wanted to wrap up on a good note, so I just kind of wanted to talk about this because for me personally, this was really cool. I got to do public address last night after the Firebirds game for what I thought was a really cool event. This was the PWHPA championship game. That's the Professional Women's Hockey Players Association. And there's a lot of talent on those teams. Players like Hillary Knight and obviously Marie-Philippe Poulin, who still lives in American's Nightmares. Nicole Hensley, she's amazing. Megan Keller, another Olympian. Emily Clark got a hat trick on last night's game. So you have all these terrific players from the PWHPA and getting to announce Billie Jean King out on the ice. Getting to meet Billie Jean King. That was a highlight. And for me, that's one of those cool things that I never thought would be possible. So just kind of wanted to share that and say, you know what? Like, women's hockey is pretty cool to watch. And I know the Buffalo Beauts are going to be playing again. So are the Connecticut Whale, Riveters, etc. Like that league, the PHF, they're still going. Support women's hockey. There are some world-class players on these leagues. There's Olympians on this leagues. So check out the leagues. They're a lot of fun to watch. All right. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. And thanks for making this your first listen of the day. Don't forget, this podcast is free and available across all platforms, including Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc. My personal Twitter is at StimpyJD. The show's Twitter is at LO_Ducks. You could email me at lockedonanaheimducks@gmail.com. Once again, thank you all for your continued support. It is greatly appreciated. And we'll see you tomorrow. For Locked On Anaheim Ducks, I'm Jason J.D. Hernandez saying have a great rest of the day. Please continue to be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Ducks, fly together.